I keep remembering I say the company's name. My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. We are the inventors of the blue technology. We also invent the coding technology that goes into blues to be allowed them to be able to read different colors from the projectors. And we are the builders and creators of Supreme Technology, projection screen that we have developed. The screen paint has the ability to produce an amazing, an outstanding bright level. As you can see, we're putting it against everything we could possibly think of. So right now on the screen, we have quite a few sample sheets right now. Let me get the projector covered over so you can see exactly how many sample sheets that are actually laying against this screen. Right now, we have about 11 certified projection screens. The technology is only at 2% done. It's not even fully completed and already showing outstanding results. Now, this technology was developed, and mind you, as I said before, that I don't do great projection screens. I'm not a big fan of them, but we basically specialize in black technology. So we decided to throw our hat in the ring on developing a great screen because I got a bit tired of seeing some of these so-called gray screen paints that weren't doing proper testing, and a lot of them at the end of the day turned out to be house paint. So let me show you, and you'll see in the demonstrations to come how a gray screen or our technology has to be tested. Every last one of our screens had to go through this. They had to be tested against other high performance screens to see how they measure up. If I have a customer who comes in, he maybe can afford $4 to $5 grand for a projection screen very easy. He's going to know what the difference between our technology and a DMP supernova, and we have to be able to back that up. So let me show you what we have against our screen. Now, usually we actually, like I said, we're more into contrast. It's the first time we actually enhanced the screen's white levels, which came out quite surprisingly very well. So we have the cinema gray. Mine, this is painted over a very beat up screen, so I got a new one coming in, but this is just for demonstrations. This is a cinema gray by Elite Screens. We have a do-it-yourself screen paint right here. As we're going to be doing a lot of demonstrations on screen paints to show you the difference between our new technology and theirs. This right here is anytime you see a screen, you get a sample sheet, and it has an MS by Seymour. This is called a Matinee Silver. This right here by Seymour AV, which is one of my favorite screens. This is a Seymour AV 1.3. Over here we have the Parallax. This is their, let me see if I'm saying it correctly. I think it's Parallax. This is their pure 2.3, very high grade, very silver screen. This right here is a gray Cinema 5D by Elite Screens. I'll take my camera up the stand so you can see the rest of the sample sheets we have up here. Quite a lot. By Parallax, or Parallax, whatever it's called. We have another one over here. This one has a 0.8. Over here we have by Seymour AV. MB stands for Matinee Black. Over here we have by Elite Screens the Dark Star 9. Far end we have over here by Seymour AV. We have the Matinee Black 0.9. So this is what the screen has to go against. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 certified screens and a do-it-yourself screen paint mix, which we have versus our technology. You can see the color of our technology versus some of the screens are much lighter than my technology, especially the Crow's personal mix. And we'll show you the. So the technology we developed has the ability to be able to produce an extremely high white level, even if it's a darker gray, as you can see. And because of that, it also has the ability of being a darker gray screen, of having the ability to produce contrast levels, which some of these screens are going to have a really hard time trying to produce. The Dark Star 9 shouldn't have a problem because it's a dark gray screen. It's not a light gray screen. Usually DMP supernovas don't have that problem. If you're talking about the Blade versus the Infinity. And then you have the Parallax, which on this far end right here, right there, is a darker gray screen. So we matched the gray screen versus darker gray screens and lighter screens, all different blends of grays. So this is what I talk about when people claim to be doing their test properly. You should be testing your screens against all different shades of colors of gray. Same thing with these big companies. The first thing they do is when they have a new screen that comes out, they will test it against a white screen. I tell them, why do you do that? Anything can be a white screen. Why would you base your technology off a white screen? It's a very easy screen to build out. I don't know why, that's what they do. Every time I see Elite Screen or one of these big companies bring out a new screen, it's always against a white screen. Anything will be the white screen. You can take gray felt and put it against a white screen, it'll be the white screen. So what they should be testing is their technology against other gray screens, as we're doing right now. All right, so what do we get out of this test right here? Number one, it allows me to see all the screens in one hit. It allows me to understand how their technology works versus ours, and allows me to be able to enhance our technology to make it better. Remember, the screen's only at 2%, with screen paint's only at 2%, so we can learn from what we're looking at. As for the screen paint at Crows, we learn nothing from that. Sorry, no disrespect, but we're not learning nothing from that at all. That's just basically a kind of a signal we're sending him to stay in your own lane, because this stuff right here, anybody who's developing a gray screen paint is designed to wipe it out. And you'll see. I'll show you along once we remove these off the screen. All right, so now we're showing the snowstorm right here. You see the white levels on our technology. We'll come out of here real quick. And let's pull up, let's see. Let's pull some exhibits up from outer space.
No one thought we'd make it this far. But we showed the world who...
Yeah, what the heck is that? I thought election was over, but whatever. That's how you skip around that. You just back out of it and come back in. So now we're showing the outer space exhibit. As you see, some of the screens are going to be struggling with black levels. So I have to show everything. When you're watching demonstrations on gray screens, you should be seeing multiple colors, how it looks in straight red and blue and green. And so we're going to see how the projector is perceiving the screen. You should be seeing dark contrast levels. That is a very beautiful demonstration. I'm going to have that up on the ceiling, because I have a ceiling projection screen right there. And I'm going to have to display that on top of the ceiling. That looks amazing. All right. Go over to some fish. So you can see how the new technology is blending in quite well. Let me get over here for a minute. There we go. Now, mind you, for a quart of this technology, and those you feel is too expensive, I'm sorry about that, but for a quart of this technology, it's going to be around $267. Now, for you start saying, oh, it's too expensive, understand that there are screens laying against this screen that would cost you $5,000 easily just for a 100-inch. And because of this, we have gotten several offers for that video we did yesterday, displaying all these high-tech screens, Certify screens, laying against a screen that would cost somewhere around $2-something. Now, keep in mind, when I said before that why we got offers, is because that any company that obtains this technology can actually turn all their old white screens into technology that would pretty much outmatch the high technology that they already own for less, and make a killing on the over. They'll make 90% profit. And mind you, our technology is only at 2%. We haven't even peaked even 20 yet. And we're already doing this. Now, as you can see, for Crow's personal mix, his screen is completely gone. It's not even there. And mind you, as I said before, my screen is darker than his. This is what I mean by the technology was designed. When we first started design, it was designed to obsolete his stuff. And at 2%, this is what it does. So it's personal mix. Makes it disappear. So right here, we have the, well, if you can see it, that right there is the parallax right here. I'll show you. We'll come in here, and you can see it's right there. We just matched a $5,000 screen. That's a $5,000 projection screen. Over here, we have the, what else we have against here? We have the cinema This is the Cinema Gray, matched. Crow's Personal Mix, matched. What do we have here? This is a, what is this one? A Matinee Silver, matched. This screen right here came out a little darker. So this is our technology here, a little darker. Right here, this one is a Seymour AV 1.3. I knew this one had to be Seymour. They're very, very, very bright screens. I like the Seymour AV 1.3. This right here is the, if I can get you, remember, these screens have a problem because they have a problem with angle gain. So I have to stand directly in front of it, because if you turn to the side with these screens, the problem you have is they go dark. So they have something called a narrow viewing cone automatically, because our screen can pull 190 degree viewing angle without becoming dark. So as we go down the screen on an angle, you can see what screens have the narrow viewing cone right there. As you can see, it comes up dark. Now, as I start to turn, you will see it become brighter. There you go. See? This is the stuff they don't explain to you in other demonstrations. They fail to miss all that. Yeah. Certain screens, and we put an ultra short though up here. Some of these screens will go black because some of these screens are not ultra short though compatible. So this right here is, what screen do we have here? Which one is this? Ah, right there, the Parallax. This is their pure. Is this the pure silver? Oh, pure. This is their pure 2.3. The pure 2.3 at around a price tag of $4 to $5 grand already. My screen's already proven its weight in gold already. All right, Gray Cinema. This is the Gray Cinema right here. So this is what this is our screen right here, and that's a Gray Cinema 5D. And look how it looks to our technology. We blend it perfectly. See that? That right there is $1,400. So you just saved between $268 for this technology. You're on that price. That screen right there for a 100-inch, not 120-inch, would have cost you an easy $1,300, $1,400 easily. This screen will paint up to 100-inch to 120-inch. So if it costs you $1,300, $1,400 for a 100-inch, what do you think 120-inch is going to cost you? We got to go look that up. This screen right here, this would cost you around between probably $800 to $900. Look how that blends in. So keep in mind, not to slander and put them down. When he's saying he's saving you hundreds, we save you thousands and thousands of dollars. And mind you, the projector I'm using in the demonstration only cost me $230. All right. Now I got to do some research on the matinees, because the matinee silvers and matinee blacks, I don't know what the price range for those are. This right here at the far bottom, this screen right here, this is a Dark Star 9. Sorry about that. By Elite Screens. Price tag for the screen for a 100-inch would cost you $3 grand. I don't know about this one yet. Like I said, we have to do some more research on the Seymour AVs. I don't know their prices on their screens. They're around $1,300, $1,400. Got to find out how much. This right here, I know for a fact, is a $5,000 projection screen right there. But like I said, when you turn a little bit here. See how it goes dark? There you go. That's called the narrow viewing cone. So we'll start from here and we'll push forward. And as you can see, that screen is going to go dark. If I turn to the side slightly, it gets lighter. That's because it has that reflective surface. So we automatically know that this one and that one has the narrow viewing cone. I don't know if Dark Star 9s have them. So let me look at the Dark Star 9. Let me turn to the side. And the Dark Star 9 has a slight bit of it. Not as dark as the daylight screen. But, excuse me. Burped there for a minute. But as you can see, it does get dark. So if I'm standing here, that screen remains dark. As I start to move, you will start to see a little bit more. If I move over here, slowly, I'm standing here, here, and here, it becomes dark. And some of these screens actually have the ability to pull up 190 with no problem whatsoever. But consider the fact that when you look at the personal mix compared to the color of my screen, how bright it is, Well, actually, his screen is actually brighter than my screen. Sorry about that. His screen is brighter than my screen. Screen's brighter than my screen. Brighter than my screen. All these, majority of these screens up here are brighter than my screen, and my screen's darker, but yet I'm pulling a high enough white level to blend this screen and make it disappear. And that's with lights on. Let's see what happens if we turn the, oops, got my remote control. Let's see what happens if we turn the lights off. What happens? Here the lights out. Just pretty much cloaked all these screens at 2% done. So that's why, like I said, just because I work in dark technology, right, doesn't mean I don't have the capability to be able to design a great screen. Oh yeah, I can. I could just prefer not to do it because I had no interest in doing it to begin with. I started developing this because basically it was to teach someone a lesson. So I mean, it turned into something else, and it got a lot of attention from our email account from some companies that are now interested in the technology. Because keep in mind, if a company's just starting out and they're willing to give us a couple of M's, let's say MKs, if you know what that stands for, they're willing to give us a couple of those to be able to compete with the big dogs. They would sell, this product would sell for a lot of money. A lot of money. Because now we have a technology here at 2% that can pretty much blend or match a high performance screen. So say if a company comes out and they want to offer us a great deal of money because they want to be able to compete with the big boy screens. With this coating, they could coat any surface they want. They can go out and buy cheap white projection screens and they could blow out a $3,000, $4,000 projection screen easily with no problem. Their technology would automatically be ultra short compatible, which most of these screens are not from the door. And none of these screens are weatherproof, which means you cannot take these screens outside, but this technology can go outside. Now you see the worth of the technology? There you go. There you go. Now you understand. So any company that wants to get into the field to compete, they could easily do it with this technology. Easily. Tell you right now, the black silver is an incredible screen paint, but it doesn't have this capability because we actually heighten the white levels on this technology. Now it's got me kind of thinking, if we're able to heighten the white levels to be able to do this on a screen this dark, imagine if we were to actually develop a 17. Oh, there is a black 17. Did you know that? We have one. And what the black 17 is being engineered to do is to pull up a extremely crazy contrast level, but to pull up an equally as well white level, which we're showing you. Anytime I show you technology that's doing something strange, like this one's doing, there's always something behind it. As in when we showed you that screen outside that took on all that sunlight, there's something behind it, which means there's technology being designed behind it to enhance it. So like I said, so around in 2021, it could be a black 17 popping up. And the black 17 could have an extremely black level, but also be able to produce a high white level. And before you sit there and say that's impossible, well, you're looking at a gray screen here that's darker than the rest of these screens, producing a white level that can blend in with a snow level. There you go. Right now, that's on the back burner. That's coming out no time soon, and you won't see it. You may not ever see it. You may not ever see it because the company could come in and buy the rights to it. That's why you may never see it. There's stuff that, like I said, we only choose to show you what we want to show you. But let's get back to the demonstration. All right, so let's come out of the fishy fish. I think I got the right remote control. Did I not? I did get the one. Right one. Okay. Let's go over into a contrast demonstration.
We've officially entered the most wonderful time of the year.
Whether you've been naughty or nice, we've got the perfect gift for you.
Now, this technology adjusted at 2% still has room to grow. It still has a lot of room to grow. There are improvements that we can add to it to make it better than what it is right now. I know some people look at it and think it can't get any better. There's a lot that can be done to make it more advanced than what it is. It still has a lot more testing to go. Go in the contrast level. So no contrast, no contrast, no contrast, no contrast, no contrast, contrast. Anytime a screen turns tan, when it has a tannish look to it, it's having a hard time being able to pick up a contrast level. We did this demonstration yesterday. This is a good one. Ouch. Yeah.
Feel the pulse cooling breath. Pulse. Breathe it in.
Like I said, for some of you who've gotten upset because of the fact that I said it's going to obsolete this product, you have to understand, if you're going to claim to be the same as me or to be better than me, then you have to prove it, because I will show you what I can do. I'll come down to your backyard, like I said, take your technology and turn it into this. Once this thing reaches 50%, there is nothing that's going to be able to stand against it. As you can see right now, there's not too much these screens can do at 2%. And it's not even finished yet. It's still in its beginning stages. So, like I said, you let me know how many people you see on the internet doing demonstrations on this level, especially with great screen paints. Most demonstrations I've seen, what they do is they throw them in these poorly lit environments, overpower projectors, and we did this demonstration on a Panasonic at 1500 lumens. Did it on 1000 lumens and it passed with no problem. So you tell me how many people are doing demonstrations this level on gray screen paints. Now with this kind of light in the environment, and then we have blue technology that sits embedded in windows. There's a reason why that screen sits in there with all those windows, because they can take in all that light. I have yet to see anybody, and it's funny, it's interesting, I have to say it real quick. We got a fellow who's trying to make blue, and which we find funny about is that it's not the surface that makes the technology. It's what's in the surface that makes the technology. It got the coating blue because it was a screen. We needed a screen to be able to show that we are using code in the screen. It's kind of hard to do that when you got a black screen, gray screen. Those are traditional screens. But you have to pick a screen that nobody else would ever think that you could turn into a projection screen. That's why there's a purple version of that technology also too being displayed. So I'm saying if you're going to make the blue, you have to make the purple too. And they both have to produce high white levels in a fully lit environment. Every time I say fully lit environment, people just do not understand what I mean by fully lit environment, which means you have to have it by a window. It has to be fully lit. We need window ambient light and we need inside ambient light. This is going to be a cakewalk for outside. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be a cakewalk. And we got companies right now that are going to be using this technology outside with 7,000 lumen projectors. Can you imagine hitting a screen that produces a height and white level that high with 7,000 lumens? Oh, also to update to our customers, we had to order 2 more sets of containers. Here, we got a lot of orders that just came in. We got 2 more sets of containers. We'll ship out around on Tuesday. Sorry about that for the inconvenience, but we got a massive snowstorm down here. A lot of things slowed down a bit. Already was slowed down already, but slowed down a bit. And we're going to start issuing tracking numbers soon. So, like I said, a few of my customers have been contacting me, just letting them know exactly what's going on. Any questions, feel free to email me and I'll basically explain the entire thing to you. So like I said, you'll be up and going. Today, my containers should be here. Matter of fact, my containers are supposed to be here on Friday. Usually we get them next day from Allentown. So I got to start getting ready to start getting stacked up because I think we got around 60 orders this week. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Much love. As a matter of fact, I think I got about 20 containers left in the box and 2 more sets of 32s. Now, also too today, there's a fellow who has a company by the name of Pro Screens. I think it's Pro Screens. We're going to be doing a side-by-side, larger sample side-by-side of his screen versus other screen paints, which will be Crow Screen Paint versus the Pro Screen. And I think it will be quite interesting from the results. His technology is actually really good. He was able to do something that I couldn't do when I first started off with, to produce an extremely high white level. And keep in mind, on that particular product, there's no form of black paint. As I said before, we all know how not to open up old wounds, but we know how the personal mix has been designed. So with that being said, I guess I'll make some more of the Metallica mix to do a demonstration, and also to the personal mix, which we're going to need to do too. I think we're going to do a side-by-side. I might do a side-by-side of this technology right next to the do-it-yourself free mix and the personal mix. Oh, and just to add, if you have a screen that is darker, like maybe someone says, what if I put a dark gray screen against this? What is my results going to be? Here are your results. This is Crow's UV mix next to our technology. So keep in mind, if he has a product that's slightly darker, as I explained before, how this stuff is designed, if the product is slightly darker than his personal mix, then it becomes like that, because the screen generates too much white, a ton of white light, which means it's like pretty much like the equivalent of trying to watch a movie through the sun, if you put it that way. So let's make this so we can get his side by side. Let's take this off. And let's take this one, and we'll put Crows side by side. So we have the personal mix and UV mix side by side. And then here we have the Elite screens there at the bottom. So you can see that if his product is too light, we can blend his screen, with our screen being far darker than his. And if his screen is basically too dark, we can turn it into a black spot. Now the problem he has here is that, like I said, with the personal mix, I like that with the snowstorm. Hold on for a minute. Remote controls. Let's pause that for a minute. Bring that back up so we can see this. So what we have here is the fact that because my screen is a bit darker than his, I can pull a better contrast level. So if he makes it too light, I can blend his screen, pull a contrast, and cause his screen to wash out. The color, the whole 9 yards, everything, because the screen's not producing a high enough contrast level. If it's too dark, then I can turn it into a black spot on the screen. Now, even when the contrast levels comes up, people say, "Where about the contrast?" No, the product is pushing out so much of a heavy contrast that even if I put it on the contrast level, the images that come up in bright colors come up too dark. They come up a bit dirty. So that doesn't work. And if he makes a brand that's lighter than the UV mix, then that means he turns into an almost near white screen, which means the screen will still maintain and blend his screen, but also too can pull contrast level that will make his screen look even darker than that. So that's what we developed. So there's no way around it. What I mean by this technology was designed to obsolete, it was designed to obsolete. There's no way to get around it because the screen's dark enough to pull contrast, but it also pulls a white level that's so high, it can blend into screens that are nearly white. See what I mean? There you go. Now you understand what we're doing here. It's designed to obsolete. That's it. To produce a much better picture quality and basically give the person no option to be able to get around it. Think all that the coating. And that's what you're seeing now. Now today, I'm going to make my own in-between gray paint. I'm going to make, because this one right here is very light. This is very dark. We're going to make an in-between gray paint in between. That should be pretty easy to do. I mean, pretty much, I would say it's probably, we'll do it this way. We'll add in, we'll do white paint, and we'll add in probably about 2 tablespoons. We'll do 4 tablespoons of black paint. Should get us a nice gray tone. Again, look how dark our screens are. Let's go with, let me see. Oh, that's nice. What's this right here? Nice, yeah, let's see.
This is play-by-play with me, Alvin Kamara. Let's go, baby. Run it.
Now here you would think that, okay, he's pulling a good contrast level here. That's not a good sign. Contrast level is too dark. I'll show you why. And I love doing these demonstrations. Let's go to, let's see, the color red. There you go. Contrast level is too high. It's too high because it's coming up too dark. Over here, it's coming up too light. These surfaces right here, like I said, they reflect the surface right here. This one and that one, it's going to have a problem. I'll show you why when I start to walk. See how it turns dark? That's a narrow viewing comb effect right there. Color blue. Same problem. Comes up too dark. Color dark green. These are the tests you're supposed to be seeing. To me, how it remains dark throughout the entire thing. Dark. This becomes faded, faded, faded. The darker gray screens are the only ones going to be to keep up with our screen. Faded, faded, faded. I'm surprised at the dark Sir 9. There you go. Contrast level is too high. There's too much black paint in there. Let me see something for a minute. Let's take down the darkest screens and let's leave up the super high bright ones. Let's take down the Dark Star 9. This is how dark the Dark Star 9 was laying against my screen. Let's take down, I want to keep the gray cinema 5D because that's not really that dark. One it would be, I don't know. I can't say it's dark because when you look at it, it's kind of like a silver. But then again, I think these two right here, this one's a little dark. We'll take this one down. Oh, and by the way, keep in mind, this technology is rear technology too. You can spray this on plexiglass and it becomes transparent. Forgot to add that in there. None of these screens are transparent. None of the screens can be used for rear projection. This technology has both. As soon as my plexiglass gets here, I'm good. We'll take down Crows because his is too dark. Here's going to be a black spot on the screen all day long. That's not going to work. The UV mix. We'll take that down. What else have we got? Let's go with this one right here. Darker screen right here. There we go. This is the matinee black. Right, Seymour AV. That's a matinee black. Let's see. I just want the light gray screens. I want the challenge of seeing which one of these screens can actually produce a brighter level than my screen, knowing that they are much brighter. See, that's one of the things I noticed when I watch these demonstrations with these gray screens. They would choose screens that will pretty much come close to their screen color. And the reason why they do this is because if they do a demonstration, it shows that their screen won't show very little flaws. So that's what they do. And I noticed that when I watch people do gray screen paints, they will stick to bright colors like this screen right here. They'll do a demonstration against this screen because they know that this screen would have a lesser chance of upstaging their screen. See what I'm getting at here? They defeat the whole purpose of basically the challenge. Now, since my screen is darker, I'm putting screens against my screen that are far lighter to see exactly how high I can produce a white level to be able to blend into a screen that's far more lighter than mine. But what they'll do is they'll pick certain screens that will basically almost come close to matching the color tone of their screen, so that way they don't have to put up with too much of a struggle. And that's what they do. They make it easy for themselves. And then when you get bumped into somebody like me, who's going to do things the hard way, and your screen's going to have a problem. It's going to struggle. All right. Let's take this one out. That's too dark. We need all light screens up there. And I'm going to get myself a white sheet of paper too, because we need to do a white sheet of paper. So what have we got? They're nice and bright. These two on the far end are too dark. So let's get rid of these. It's got to go. Get rid of these. Let's get rid of that one. So we're going to do one section. We're going to do this piece by piece, which means we're going to do one section with all the elite screens, one screen with all the Seymour AVs, one screen with all the daylight screens. I know daylight makes lighter screens, so that's what I'm hunting for right now. I'm not hunting for screens my same tone. I'm hunting for screens that are much lighter than my screen. That's the whole purpose. The Studio Tech, that all white screen, that's the stuff I'm searching for. That's going to be easy to get. So many gray screens out there, it's not even funny. Why would I put a screen that's going to match my tone next to my screen, knowing I'm really not going to see any good results from that? I want something that's much brighter. And that's the problem you have with people testing screen paints. They're cutting too many corners. They don't do it right. So we'll do it for you. So I talk like that because that's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Not going to do it right. Don't do it at all. Don't waste everybody's time. colors, the blues and the greens and the red. No. I get sick and tired of these light gray screen prints cutting corners. They don't want to do their test right. They want to give you a whole bunch of detailed instructions on how you're supposed to utilize their stuff in your environment. So you want me to go in and you want me to use Ambilight. Let me get this straight. So you want me to turn my living room into a dark den to accommodate your screen. I'll buy a TV. All right, so here we go. Now, white screens are automatically going to pull, or white surface is going to automatically pull the highest white level, being a white screen itself. You see how bright these screens are laying against my screen right now, right? Okie dokie. This is how they're supposed to test out their stuff, but they don't do it this way. There you go. Now, let's do something because my video stopped playing. Find my remote control, which is in my pocket. Let's go back. The demonstration. And let's rewind. So let's begin. And as you can see, some of these screens are going to struggle with color. They're not going to be able to pull up proper color because the screens are going to be washing out automatically from the door because they don't have enough contrast in the screen to pull the color pop. And as you can see for Crow's personal mix, well, there you go. That's it right there. Our screen just consumed it. That's how you demonstrate your white levels. You have to choose a surface that's going to be brighter than the actual screen. Not match the screen with the same color surface. See how the screens are washing out, wash out, wash out, wash out. Now, the reason why my comments have been cut, because this video plans to be broadcasted on Facebook. I just need to show off exactly the technology's capability, and that's it. Like I said, I do appreciate the views and whatever likes we get, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that we can show the technology working because we have other companies that are interested in buying it, whatever they plan to do with it. Well, I'm interested in selling it? No, not really, to tell you the truth. Why let somebody have all the fun on what we developed it for to begin with? So this is not for sale. But as you can see already, look at that. There's Crow's personal mix right there. I know some people, I had somebody come in and go, well, his mix is it's matching your screen perfectly. Our screen's darker than this screen, and we can bring a white level high enough to blend his screens. So what does that tell you? It's not matching our screen. We're matching his at a darker level. Okay, let's go to... And there you go. Because our screens are darker, we can pull a contrast level and still maintain the white level with no problem. Now you see it? Faded, 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 faded. So you have a technology here, 2%. I love saying 2%. At 2%, that can pull a contrast level that none of these screens can pull, but yet can pull a white level high enough to make their screens disappear. That's where you become obsolete. Now, if your contrast level is too high, as the UV mix is too high, you pull a contrast level, but then when it comes to colors and bright, beautiful pictures and snow, it becomes too dark. See? And some screens don't have a too high of a white level where the image starts to wash out.
Ordinary tissues cause your nose drab. Try soothing puffs plus lotion instead.
Perfect example right here. I like this video. It's a perfect example of what happens to your screens when you're faced with contrast. Our screen can hold its weight. So you have a screen that's too light, it automatically washes out the contrast. What our screen can pull a contrast level. And if your screen is light, my technology can blend your screen and match it with no problem. Even maintain color, where the color doesn't become so bland and washed out because the screen doesn't have enough contrast. And if it's too dark, then the image comes up looking like a black spot. So you can't make it too dark and you can't make it too light because this technology does both. And that's why we call it the obsolete. Yeah, let's go back a minute. Can't even pick up red properly. The red's not gonna pick up. You have enough contrast to do it. There you go. Can't pull contrast because your screen is too light. Because you base your screen off pulling a high enough white level. See, that's the interesting thing about it was when he was developing technology, he basically was screen, we could call it house paint, that's what it is. When he was making this stuff, he was concentrating on high white levels. But now we have a screen that produces a high white level than your screen. It can blend into your screen with no problem, but can pull contrast. And it kind of makes it difficult because there's no in between for it. Like I said, that's a white sheet of paper on the far end right there. There you go. You can't pull contrast level. It's interesting watching the screen pour contrast and a white level that high. Now keep in mind, the contrast level I consider on this technology is to be fair. Black silvers pull heavier contrast levels, but this screen pulls the highest white level out of any screen we make, even a blue. I've never seen a white level this high on the screen. That's why it has the name ultra bright, because that's what it's designed to do. When we first showed it off, I had a gray little piece of painted on a little gray piece of wood, about 3 by 3. Hit that projector. When that thing came on, boom, the whole screen just lit up. We didn't put anybody's screen against it yet. And the guy was like, good God, it's like looking at a freaking TV. It's like the white levels are so freaking high. At the same time, the colors are popping. It's not pulling up a white level too high where you're losing color. As you can see, the colors are nice and rich. There we go again. If the colors were faded on a technology that could not produce a contrast level, you wouldn't see the reflection of the black at the bottom. Look at all the individual beads and look at the black background. The reason why we know the screen's pulling a black level because all these screens have just faded. That's how we know. Let's go to my personal favorite. I like this one. Nope, we don't want that. We're good. So anything that comes up black in the background will automatically turn these screens gray because they can't see a black. Look at Crow's screen paint turning gray. Now, this is what I find interesting. Your personal mix, not the rank on your screen here, but to point it out to you, your personal mix is pulling a darker shade than my screen, and my screen is darker than yours. How do you explain that one right there? This is interesting to look at. You heighten on talk about levels, how bright the screen is. Well, you want to talk about that. We'll design a technology that will basically pull contrast, but pull a white level that will put your UV mix, and I hate to say it, don't disrespect, but it'll put it to shame, which is doing right now. Now, you see how dark my screen is? Now, look how dark his screen turned up on those skin tones. I told you, my first field was gray screens. If I wanted to go back into that field, I could develop something that would level your stuff with no problem, and I wasn't joking. You're seeing it for yourself. His screen is gray. It doesn't pull white level. You know why? It's house paint. I can explain to you guys over and over again. That's how house paint reacts. There's no technology in house paint. This is technology that you're seeing. You see a difference. You got to see a difference in the product. And the difference you can see in the product is I have a darker screen than all of these. And look at my freaking white levels on my technology. But not only that, I just turned your screen dark using a screen that's darker than your screen and pulled the higher white level. Figure that one out. So if I were to take, like I said, if you were to make any screen, and we're going to make a shade, we're going to make several shades of dark screen paint, just to show you how it's going to react. If anybody were to design a screen paint slightly darker to try to keep it with the contrast levels of the blacks of this technology we're developing. This is how your UV mix would come up. So anything that you design slightly darker than that personal mix is going to show those kind of results. That Frankenstein is slightly darker, that CBG, whatever stuff it's called, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, no disrespect, that's going to come out darker, anything. And if you design anything lighter, then that means the color is going to fade. And when my screen switches over to contrast, I'm going to turn that screen into a white sheet of paper. So there's no in between. There's no way to get around this stuff. That's why we said that within a month's time, once we get this thing up to full peak, your stuff is obsolete. All I would have to do is just get your stuff down here and just do all your sample sheets right across the screen. Just like I did all these certified screens right here that went against my technology at 2%. I'll put all your screens up here one by one by one by one, and I'll show you what this technology will do to it. We already had 2 right there. Actually, we have 3 because we have the one we can make for free online. So we have 3 of them. Where's that one? Oh, that's going to react the same way as this one anyway. So, like I said, this is what we got. Your screen turned gray. Right there, turned gray. Versus a screen pulling a white level so high that it's darker than your screen. How do you explain it? So we gave him a bit of an option. In his option we gave him, he's not going to follow through. So I've already made call already with a few people that are actually trying to get orders for his product. We gave him an option. Now, in these circumstances, it's not going to work. You see how dark blues are. This is a very dark product. And for some reason, he thinks because it's blue, that's the screen. And he totally misses how the technology works about color coding. The coding that we put into screens to allow them to be able to do things that usually normal screens can't do. So what he doesn't understand about blue is developed. It got its color because it was designed to show people that there was a code in the screen that can produce the colors. So now he has to do the purple version and he has to show a solid white on it. But that's neither here nor there. The same coding that we tell you about, we have it here in this technology. But in this technology, the white levels were heightened and the black levels were brought down just a little bit, which is the reason why I can show you a technology that is darker than your screen, but can produce a high enough white level to make your screen turn dark. Let's go back. Now, like I said, any surfaces that come up tan cannot produce contrast. So for those of you on Facebook that will be watching this demonstration, Crow is an individual who feels that he can basically develop technology better than us. And keep in mind, he's done reviews against our product. And when he's done these reviews, he has slandered our product by mixing in black formulas and chemicals and stuff like that, paints and stuff, to make our products seem that they are not what they are. Keep in mind that all the demonstrations, including the copyrights and all that, have been posted to my Facebook page and also to my 16 other pages that I have under my different companies that we actually, all those demonstrations are there too. So this is the reason why we're doing this demonstration, to show you how superior the technology is at only 2% done. I figure that, with all the great screen paint demonstrations I've seen, hiding them in dark environments, using overpowered projectors, testing them against sample sheets that match the same complexion as their screens, cutting corners like there are no tomorrow. So we're going to come out here and show you how it's done right. And not only going to come out here and do it right, we're going to show you where this technology is going to obsolete your stuff, giving our customers a much better and better quality product than black and white paint. And that's what you should get at the end of the day. Now for these other screens up here, these are certified screens. The Elite screen, actually the Great Cinema, and some of the other high-end screens we have up here. These are all certified screens. This is a white sheet of paper on the far end, and there's Crow's screen paint right there in the middle. Well, not in the middle, near the far end right there. And as you can see, they're all turning gray because they can't pull contrast. just to show you something right here, as I said before, the UV mix pulls too heavy of a contrast levels because look how dirty the image is coming up. Oh, we put that against our black screen, so we just let you know. My screen was not only be able to blend into that screen and make that thing disappear, but it was able to actually pull a heightened white level on skin tones that made Crow's screen wash out, which means we're able to show bright, beautiful colors, and black screens are developed to be able to pull heavy contrast levels and white levels at the same time, which means if I put Crow's personal mix against my black screen and we show any kind of demonstration, not only is it going to be to pull those high white levels to maintain its beautiful white level capabilities, but when it comes to color, his screen completely washes out. It's not even there anymore. So I'll put that link at the bottom. So those of you on Facebook and YouTube can see this. All right, so let's continue on. As a matter of fact, we got to get his off of there because, like I said before, this is going to be for light screens only. We can put him in tune for things. I'll be on the next again. We got plenty. Oh, we didn't know this was going to multiple platforms. We also had TikTok too, so these go on TikTok too. All of them, everything. Even Instagram, everything. Anyway, what's the deal you got with the professional screens? We all know the problem I have with professional screens. They cut corners. They have their screens set up in re-rehearsed environments. They control all the lighting in the environment. What hits the screen, what doesn't hit the screen. And then they have an ambient light controlled environment for a screen that's supposed to be ambient light rejection. I mean, is this ambient light rejection or is this not ambient light rejection? Which one is it? I mean, you got to pick and choose. So bottom line, I can use it, but I can't really use it, if you mean. So I have to change my environment in order to be able to accommodate the screen because it's going to fade if I use it in the environment in which I'm using it. So I have to have an ambient light rejection environment in order to use an ambient light rejection. It doesn't make any sense. Tell me where that makes any sense. It's like having a high performance race car and you're watching all the commercials about this car going 0 to 60, supposed to be the most advanced model on the face of the planet, and you get like, oh, here's the deal, you can't drive it past 60. What the freak, really? There you go. Look at this. Boom. Boom. I love doing that. So now we got to do, keep in mind, I said this technology has two options. It has rear projection. I will have the rear projection done as soon as we can get our hands on the plexiglass, which was supposed to come when a snowstorm hit, but I can understand that, you know what I mean? I can understand that packages are not going to show up when you have a snowstorm blowing through. So I have to wait a bit for it. And I'm really curious to get my hands on this surface because this may be the beginning of wallpaper screens for us again. And the reason why is because this particular surface is extremely thin. It's flexible, it's sturdy, and if you roll it up, it lays flat, but it's interesting. Okay, how thin is it? You know when you buy an action figure and it's got that thin plastic in between the casing, it actually shows off the action figure? It's literally that thin, but it's sturdy at the same time. And I can't wait to get it over here because if this thing is what I think it is, that means that we can basically ship these in much smaller boxes, I mean, containers. But anyway, I can probably ship 120-inch screen and the size of a container about like that because the screen is super thin and we can roll it up. And it's freaking, I can't wait to get it over here. But like I said, we gotta wait. So we're gonna do two of them. We're gonna do one in the black because the black comes in the visible version. And I'm gonna do another one. Actually, I gotta do three. One has to be done in blue. Blue has an invisible technology attached to it. We have to do another one in this coating right here. The ultra bright has to be done and the black has to be done. So we need three of them done. So usually when you get a form of fiberglass that thin, if you cut it, it'll crack. It just cracks up. This stuff doesn't even crack. So if we get this, man, this will be way better than wallpaper screens. Wallpaper screens were nice and all, and they were thin, but they were kind of heavy. Compared to this stuff, they were kind of heavy. This stuff right here is supposed to be like freaking paper thin. Oh man, it's gonna look beautiful on a projection screen. And I'm gonna do my border probably, I'm gonna do the invisible border for mine. All right, so there with the white levels right there. All right, let's grab, let me see, yabba, yabba, yabba. Yabba, yabba, do.
She has so many powers. Did she use one of them to remove the skin button from the apple? No, that was me. Immortals Phoenix Rights and save the gods.
We got a contrast, pulling contrast now. I love that we pull the contrast levels. Two things happen to the screens, the ones we have up here. Either they pull in too high of a white level and they can't pull the contrast, or their levels are too dark and they can't pull the white levels. None of them pull contrast. I want to go back to that one. Your product code, it's coming out too dark. That's next to our screen. Our screen is pulling a high, bright skin tone, and your skin tone is coming up too dark. And I said before, my screen's darker than yours, and I'm still pulling a higher white level. You're coming up way too dark right there. That's not a good sign. So I'll put the order in for today. I'll make some calls, and they'll start the process of basically ordering your products. I'm curious how many of them will get canceled, or if go into a paranoia stage and try to figure out exactly which one are your actual customers and which one are the customers, or actually which one are the people that are actually going to be ordering from us. Look at this. Blending your screen, man. Let's see what else we got to play with on here. That we can actually heighten. Let me see. Let me do this one right here.
Children's Robitussin Honey. Great tasting, effective relief for your kids' unbearable cough.
I've got to hook up the PS4 to this because I've got to see some other stuff on here. This thing is just crazy bright. I got to see some other stuff on here because I got on Borderlands. Borderlands has some insane colors on it. I got to run some stuff off of this. So I think the next demonstration is definitely going to be a gaming demonstration because I had to see it. Colors explode off this screen like crazy. So now I'm matching your screens right now. Let's go back to Mr. Lizard right there. See, you are right. You can't see it, can you? It's right there. Yeah, I would really consider rethinking. See how I blended to your screen? Look at that. That fast, that quick. That's a matinee super right there. Blended that one too. Look at that. I want you to look at that real close so you can see that. This is what you're going to have to deal with if you don't learn to mind your own business. And just keep in your mind your business. If he minds his own business and stays in this category, I won't do another demonstration against this product. No more reviews, no more doing sneaky stuff, no more putting in black paint and doing falsified demonstrations. No more. Today, I'm still going to do what has to be done on the legal part of it. That's still going to go through. It's going to happen because you shouldn't have crossed that line to begin with. That's already in the process, already starting. But other than that, you got an option here. And your option is here. If you want to keep making those stupid videos, in a month's time, I'll pump out enough of these videos demonstrating your technology or house paint everywhere. And this technology will obsolete it quickly and fast. I am not playing with you. This is not a screen to play with. Black screens, you don't develop. Blue screens, you don't develop. Even that black silver, you don't develop screens at that level. But this technology is in your backyard. See, that's what we want him to do, mind his business. And the reason why we do these demonstrations on his particular product, it doesn't basically give us any credibility. Now, going against a matinee silver Seymour AV 1.3, that's credibility for our screens. But this is just to teach this particular individual who constantly has a habit, for those you know on Facebook, he has a habit of basically coming into doing these reviews and, like I said, doing demonstrations to make our products look dirty. So what we did was, like I said, you want to basically talk about how gray screens produce the highest white levels and how they are the best. Well, we designed the gray screen to obsolete your screen. That pulls a much higher white level and can pull a contrast at the same time that your screen can't do. So you have an option. And the option we are giving you is to mind your own business and stay in your lane, or within the months to come, I will make sure that there is enough people on my list to be able to go out and basically redo orders over and over again, which number one is going to it's going to put your paranoia through the freaking roof, because you're not going to be able to tell who's a customer and who's one of us. Because you don't want your product coming here. If you didn't, and like I said, people on Facebook, I'll show you the demonstration. He has canceled multiple orders from us to do reviews on his products, which shows a fear, a serious fear of not wanting that product to come here. Now, like I said, you have an option. Now, if you don't do the option, don't buy by me. I'll have your product down here, and we'll do what we do to the rest of your product that we just did to your screen right there. Now for the other certified screens, basically it's just to basically just stack up to see how we stack up to some of these screens, especially the ones that are going to be costing $4,000 and $5,000, to see exactly where our screens should be priced at. Now, like I said, I have a customer base that can afford $6,000 to $7,000 easy for a projection screen, $100,000 for speaker systems, and they can afford some top end stuff. If I wanted to basically just market it to them and basically charge $800 for the paint, I could easily get it with no problem. Easily. Because I have a market for people in that field who buy my technology. And look at that. Doesn't even freaking blends in perfectly into your screen. But you got your option right there. But knowing you, I know you won't listen. He's very hard-headed. He's not going to listen. He's going to do what he wants to do. So, like I said, we can convince people easily not to buy your stuff. And I can charge a reasonable price that everybody can afford it. Nobody will buy it. All right, let's move from there. That is freaking, that's crazy. Look at that. This is what you call the difference. This is why I say when you watch demonstrations, when people are showing off their gray screens, they will pick materials from Certified screens, they will pick materials that will come close to blending their screen so their screen doesn't have too much of a struggle. And that's what they'll do. Those are the screens that they will actually go against. But see, when I do my demonstrations, I will pick screens that are far more lighter than my screen. My screen would have to be to produce an amazing white level in order to be able to catch up to how bright their screens can produce. That's how it's supposed to be done. See, when the contrast comes up, see how the screens automatically start to turn gray. Now we've got to design two big brothers after this one, because this code right here is interesting. We could build levels to this. That's what I like about it. There's a darker version of this. And now we're going to actually design another version that's going to have a higher gain than a 15 or 16. It's going to be a 17. And that'll be the first look to come to the new version of black technology we're advancing. That's going to be a 17. It's going to be able to produce an amazing black level, but an extremely high white level. My power stone. No, not really. That could be done. I'm 17. 17 could be done. It's a bit of a calculation. It can be done. Should make a prototype. I should make a prototype with 17. Just play around with it. You can design one of those today. You hear me talking in the background? That's me mumbling and talking to myself. I'm actually thinking about developing a prototype of a 17 black. For anything you see that's marked under 17, and if you see something marked under a 17, they're not coming anytime soon. No way. You won't see that stuff probably until probably about the end of summer of 2021. I'm gonna get my charger. Okay, I'm gonna grab a charger. I think I'm going into the arcade room today. That's not gonna be recorded. It's my personal free time today. Today's Sunday. So I'm going to my arcade room today, which I haven't had a chance to play any games. But I'm gonna enjoy my arcade room today. So have some fun. My containers should be here on Friday. And then I got to get ready to get the, oh, I got to get labels printed out today. That's going to be another thing. Get my labels cut out, print out today. That's upstairs. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. There's a bit of a slant going on. Wrong remote control. Okay, over here. Oh, hold on. Wait that for a minute. What about their selection? I think today I'm going to watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Watching that today. I'm going to do that in 235.1 today. I never use this screen in here. I'm going to use that today. I just bought it on my Fire Stick in 235.1. I'm going to watch that movie. I've never seen that movie in 235.1. I don't use my screen enough. No more demonstrations on the screen because I hardly ever use this screen for any demonstrations whatsoever. That's what I'm going to have to do. Do some demonstrations on that screen. Now, one of the things you're going to see here is that when it comes to certain colors, these screens are going to start to wash out because they have they're producing too high of a white level. They're going to have problems producing color. Some will do well, some won't. Anything that comes up in gray, as I said before, this is going to be contrast being displayed on the screen, but the screens you're going to have problems with, and they're going to actually start showing up in gray tones. On the far end, we have a white sheet of paper. I got to get online and I got to get over and get some white and gray samples now. That's what I'm going to need, a lot of them. That should not be hard to come by. And we're going to have to get some white screen samples too. Just popped up gray right there. That's for that contrast level. Yep. The screen's faded automatically. Cannot pull up proper red. Too many white levels are too high. Can't pull contrast. Now we start showing the white levels on the technology. Technology is pulling up white levels with no problem. All right, contrast fail already. These all can't pull contrast. When the screen can't pull contrast, it comes up tan, kind of a tannish color. Colors are washing out.
Purely, saying no is the most important ingredient in our cold brew iced tea. We say no to rushing and brew it longer at a colder temperature for our smoothest taste yet. Try it today or tomorrow. No rush. Purely. No is beautiful. All right, just to add real quick that we'll be shipping out on Tuesday due to the snowstorm. Tracking numbers will all go out on Saturday. Those of you who took advantage of the Christmas sale that comes with the 6 feet by 10 feet, when that sale is over, the blackout cloth will be removed. Just want to let you know. Some people think the blackout cloth is going to be in there. It's not. It's a gift from our company. So on the 27th, price will go back to normal. and the blackout cloth will be removed. I gotta go online right now, and I have to order about 60, 70 surfaces for our customers. Now, those who don't know what the blackout surface is for, the people ask me what it is. It is a surface that allows you to be the finish your projection screen. So pretty much you're just building a frame. You take the blackout cloth, you staple it down to the frame, and you coat it in. So it's like a free surface. So it's a 6 by 10 free surface. And that will be eligible with our 1 quart, 2 quarts, and 3 quarts. I know, sorry, 3 quarts are sold out. Forgot about that. The 3 quart lead light kits are sold out. So just the 1 quart and 2 quarts. I'm gonna do the TLC black and white. Where's the remote? Oh, it's on me. TLC black and white. The other ones he's got up here. I haven't seen this one. But I want to do the TLC black and white. I have seen this one. I'm still curious to see a little bit of it. And we'll do a demonstration without all this stuff on the screen. Just the screen displaying itself. I think tomorrow I'm going to bring down the PS4 and I'm going to hook it up. I've got to see what it looks like on gaming. Only thing I did was on the display of the Street Fighter, and man, I might do a little Street Fighter demonstration on here to show the colors on the stuff. Okay, let's do the TLC black and white. Let's see what else they got on this line. I can always come back to these demonstrations later on. A lot of them on here. All right. TCL, I think it's TCL. Oh, that's interesting. Might better if I just spoke it. I'm curious. TCL black and white demo.
Getting that from YouTube.
Ah, okay, that'd have been a lot faster. So let's see how they hold up to this. Contrast fail, contrast fail, contrast fails, contrast fail, contrast fail. Yep. They're gonna have a hard time with this. Contrast, contrast. I said the screen's producing too high of a white level. That comes a problem when it comes to contrast. You can't do both. There we go. All going here. Let's bring in Sony demonstration 4K.
Getting that from YouTube.
I don't even know how we even got to that one right there. That was just completely way off on what I just asked for. Sony. Here we go. No. It faded. You guys were looking at it from a distance. I'm like, oh no, his screen didn't fade. It pulled the red. No, it faded. It definitely faded. Look at it. There you go. So you can see it for yourself. It faded. I was looking at it from way back here. I was thinking that screen actually just faded right in front of me. So yeah, his product just faded. That's why I got close on the screen to show you. It faded. It can't pull red. And it's not going to be to pull the colors correctly. If it can't pull red, it's not going to pull anything. Neither one of these are going to be to pull anything. Just not saying not him. Neither one are going to be able to pull it. Because they're not dark. Our screen's going to pull it because it's darker. It can pull it, but it's going to pull the same high white level their screen's going to be able to pull. And if the screen is producing too high of a white level, as in these were doing, these were pulling at a tremendously high white level when it came to the skin tones. The problem you had here, now when you switch over to blues and grays and black levels, these screens are going to fade the highest because they were pulling the highest white level. So that's what I read from their technology. No, actually, one of them was white paper. I forgot about that. That's white paper on the end. So like I said, this is what I'm reading from their screens. As for this in the middle, I can make basically, I don't have to, I can take, well, his instructions were basically in the do-it-yourself free mix was basically black and white paint. I could basically go out and just change and alter it by just getting white paint, and instead of putting 2 tablespoons, put in 4, and it'll still react the same way. Which I think I'll just make some today. And I know you're probably thinking, well, what about the UV mixer? UV mixer is a darker screen. It's going to throw up darker and richer colors. Well, the thing I told you about that is the fact that, when I explained to you, if a black screen or a dark gray screen can't produce a white level, then you're going to have a screen that's going to have too high of a contrast level, and the colors are going to come out dark. And for those who are going to say, oh, that's not true, well, it is. That's why we can take the black screens and take our black silver and lay it against it, and it blends into the screen because it can pull a high enough white level to do that. this can't do it, which I'll show you. If you want to have a kicker and a kick and a giggle, jiggle, 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 jiggle. I'm tired. I'm gonna go eat. That's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go eat. Now keep in mind, the gray primer had the same reaction. I said before, any dark surface can pull a contrast level. Problem is that it has to pull a white level. That's the important part. Without the white level, the screen is oversaturated with too much black and it comes out dirty. Now, this is where I like to prove my theory. You know where I'm going, don't you? Black screens can pull white levels. That's what makes them different from any other black screen. I would know. I developed the technology. So, let's play this back on this demonstration. Now, usually this is my light gray screen, and I took a darker screen and put it against it, right? And that image basically made the dark gray screen look like a dot, a black dot. So what happens if I take the light gray personal mix and I put it against this screen? It should be able to turn this screen as dark as the one you saw over there, right? I should ask people for bets. Bet your system. I'll take my hoodie off. And usually down here, like I said, you see me doing the video and I have a hoodie on. I got a shave today too, so today's gonna be a shave day for me. Get this man cave off me. This whatchamacallit off me. We'll take the UV mix, which is the darker. We'll put it here, and we'll take the personal mix here. Now, like I said, this is our gray screen. Usually, you know, when someone's that particular individual is doing testing against our black screens, or he's doing some kind of fake false demonstration against our black screens, he will use a light gray screen, right? To make our screens look like they produce very low white levels. Where I can take your dark gray screen and stick it against my screen, and your personal mix, which is your light gray screen, both of them at the same time, and I can produce a white level to match your screen on my gray screen, which is darker than yours, and produce a color and contrast that makes your screen look oversaturated when it comes to the darker ones. I know Crow Boys don't want to see this, but you have to. This is going to be broadcasted everywhere, so it has to be seen. So I'm going to show you in our demonstration when it comes to our black screens. And the reason why I do this is because it's to be fair. There's no point in me doing a demonstration and taking this darker mix and putting it up there and not doing my own screen. It's only fair. So that's why I like to do things by the book. So, let's begin. And there you go. See, if you're going to do a demonstration, you have to be fair. You have to put your stuff in there too. So if I'm talking about my black technology having this capability, there's no point in me talking about it if I don't show you. That's why if you see me in my demonstration switch from one screen to another, it's because I back it up. I'll show you. Just like when I showed you over here, if we take that same sample screen and put it over here, this is our gray screen. So our gray screen can produce, we're not taking like when he does our demonstrations, when he does fake demonstrations, he'll take his light gray screen and he'll put it against our dark screen and say, look at the white levels. Look how much darker his screen is. Well, in this demonstration, I'll put you against my gray screen, a contrast level, and I'll show your screen is producing so high of a contrast level when it comes to black levels that any colors that grace the screen, you will turn those dark too. Then I'll take your personal mix and I'll stick it against my gray screen and I'll produce a high white level, even on a snowstorm, to actually match or basically outperform your light gray screen. Both screens at the same time, not one. And we will do this with color shades. We will do this with white levels and black levels and everything at the same time to show you that, yes, you can't sit there and say that my technology is so dark that you can't see it. But not only will I do it on this screen, I'll switch it over to the black screen. and I'll show you where my screen is producing better color, whether it be it's dark or whether it be it's a lighter mix. And keep in mind, if my technology was so dark, this screen would actually be brighter than this screen, but it's not. You have to be to back it up. I can do that with no problem. And like I said, if you want, I can test all your screens against the black and the silver and blue, all of them. Now, when it comes to white levels, because the white levels on this screen are not as enhanced as the white levels on the technology over here, his screen will come out slightly brighter than my screen. But keep in mind, it's not going to be to the point where my screen is going to be so dark that you can't see and it's unrecognizable. That's the picture. I can understand his pain. That's the picture that he wanted to paint for everybody to believe. But I have your lightest product against my screen. And as I said before, you will show a difference when it comes to white levels, a little higher than mine, but not to the point that the picture that you have painted, that my technology was so dark that no one could recognize it. But if we come against color, against a black screen, I'd wash your screen out with no problem. You can't produce any contrast whatsoever. If I wanted to run over this product, I can do all OLED demonstrations all day. Completely run a screen. I can do them outside, because these black screens can pull images outside with no problem. And another screen has quit. So that's why I'm pretty sure the first time he saw my product, the first time he got it, I'm pretty sure he saw what it could do. And I'm pretty sure that he decided that he was going to go in and probably tamper with the product to make it seem darker. Because that's going to be a hurt piece. If you've been campaigning for the longest time that my product has been so dark, and then a 12 walks in there and it produces the same thing you're seeing right now, he's going to have a hard time explaining that. So what does he do? He tampers with the product. Now it's interesting how we can come here and do a live demonstration. Facebook, thank you for watching. And we can come here and do a live demonstration and show you the product not doing what it's supposed to do in this video. And I did this yesterday and the day before yesterday. Whew, I can't wait to shave today, man. I feel so much like a caveman. That's going to be happening today. Ugh. Come back here. And that's why I have no problem with taking this product and putting it against mine, including a white sheet of paper. Just to show you that, as I said before, that our technology is not going to produce a white level equal to, especially when it comes to black screens. They're not going to produce a white level as high as a white screen or a gray screen. But the white levels are going to be to a point where the screen is going to be able to be watched with no problem whatsoever, and it's not going to be too dark. But let's see if we can get the screen for a short minute to produce a dark enough image where you can't see my screen at all, as it was portrayed in his demonstrations. I'm telling you, they just do not want to stay against that screen. Let me get a piece of heavier sticky tape for that. All right, maybe that one might be dull in the end. Sometimes they get a little dull in the end, and we have to do them with more sticky tape. There we go, that should stay. Hopefully that stays and doesn't fall off. No attention, just maybe the sticky tape may be wearing thin. I pull them off from one screen to the next, and that could be it right there. As I'm showing you right here, his UV mix has faded against our deep red screen. See? Now I've sat there and said in many of my demonstrations, I said, look, you will never get a black screen. Well, I can't say that because it could possibly happen today. because what I just read over there on that screen, there could be a possibility we might be able to pull that one off. But anyway, for right now, I've said that there's nowhere in the world a black screen is going to equal a white screen. Impossible when it comes to white levels. Any screen that's going to be slighter grayer than the slightly whiter, or produce a higher or lighter than the black screen, it's going to produce automatic higher white level. That's just A and B. No one has to be a rocket scientist to figure that one out. But the fact that our black screens are producing and maintaining a white level to the point where the screen is not too dark and unrecognizable is what it's designed to do. But it's designed to pull a heavier contrast level, something these screens cannot do. But like I said, in the demonstrations I have seen, and I have posted all over TikTok and any of the places we're at, I've been basically pulling these demonstrations showing our product coming up so dark that you can't see it. Oh yeah. And as I said before, you're more than welcome to buy off our website. It's not a problem. The problem is that we can't order from you because you don't want your product coming over here. And I don't see why you would have a problem, because these are fair demonstrations. Got plenty enough power on the projector, 4300 lumen Christie projector, full 1080p. We have a screen and we have a fully lit environment. So what is the problem? Excuse me. Kind of reminds me of Seinfeld, where he didn't want to race and he kept making up all these excuses. Telling me, I refuse to race. I will never race again. That's what it kind of reminds me of. Yeah, because we can't get a sample sheet, and we can't get no paint. We buy the paint from them, we can't get it from them. So now I'm gonna show you white scenery. As I said before, these screens are expected to pull higher white level. But remember, our product is supposed to pull a very dark image that you can't see. We'll skip over and get to the white scenery. There we go. There you go. So I'm pretty sure when you're watching my screen, you can make out the trees in the background, the individual branches, the snow seen right here and here. You can see it crystal clear. It's nice and bright, as what it's supposed to do. This is how we know he's lying in all his demonstrations, and he fakes a lot of demonstrations. It's because we can come over here and show you a white demonstration against a white sheet of paper. It's no problem. Now, keep in mind, as I said before, this is going to be going before the courts. And the reason why is because we can easily take that video that he made, and I can do this exact same demonstration in a courtroom. He would have to explain that video. Why is he making videos like that to begin with against our product? And that's going to be very hard to do. So you can see the kind of troubles he's going to be in. Starfield demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now, not only can my screen produce an amazing white level for a screen this dark, but it can do something that these screens will never ever be to do, and that is to produce a 100% contrast level. It is one of the darkest screens that we had that had, well, actually the extreme is no more. That one was basically, it's a negotiation, just leave it at that. But anyway, so it has the ability to pull a 100% contrast level. The color red.
Getting that from YouTube.
And deeper colors. There you go. With the white sheet of paper. Good. You have a white projection screen. I'm not trying to laugh at you, but good gracious. It didn't pick up anything. Like nothing. It just picked up a thin layer of it. It didn't pick up any of it at all, period. That's why people, when they get white screens, that's the first one they give you. That's the cheapest screen you can get. Now, that's why I said that when somebody made the comment that you could calibrate your projector's black levels to be able to match to a white screen or a gray screen and calibrate your black levels to actually equal a black screen, that's not happening. No, 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 no. Blue screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Dark green screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
Yeah. Let's see if we can make the screen unwatchable. If we play the TLC with the women walking down the street, let's see if we can make it unwatchable. Now, you remember how dark that the UV mix came up on my other screen over here, the gray screen? It was so dark that you really couldn't see the image. Let's see if we can make our screen look the same way. We're going to do a demonstration tomorrow on the black technology. We're going to put Crow's product up here, and we're going to see if we can make our black screen unwatchable to match the exact same demonstration that he did in the video. So I'm going to put another projector right over here, and we're going to show his demonstration on how our screens are supposed to look in live versus our screens over here with his personal mix, his own screen paint laying against our black screens. And let's see if the screen becomes unwatchable. That will be broadcast on Facebook and every place too. And for those of you who do not believe what I'm saying, I want you to take the time, go to Google and crack open something on law. Look up the definition of slander, look up the definition of character, look those up and find out what you have to do in order to get sued under those different characters. Just go look it up for yourself, then get back with me. That's like if I started a campaign that a certain famous TV company or TV manufacturer, that their screen gave people cancer, and I started this campaign or started this rumor telling these people this stuff over and over and over again, and they were able to go into court and show that it doesn't. Do you have any idea how much trouble you would be in? And also to take the time to look at the repercussions and the penalties you would have to go through if you lost a case such like so. It's not good. Now,
Bixby voice privacy contents have been updated. To continue, review the
for those of you that may be saying, well, aren't you doing the same thing to his product? Not really. Because the demonstrations I'm doing against his product are his products. Nothing's tampered with at all. Nothing's added to his product. I'm displaying it as it is against our technology. 100% fair demonstration. Nothing tampered with it, nothing at all. But when he does our demonstration, he always mix something to the product and make it seem darker than what it is. So yes, you can be suited for that. All right, let's go over here and let's grab, I'm gonna grab that, but let's do the window display. See, if our screen comes up so dark that you can't see it at all. Now, I don't know about you, but I can see the trees right here in the background. I can see the windows back here. If you'd like to get a little closer to the screen. Like I said, the screen's going to pull a higher white level because it's lighter than my screen. But in this demonstration, we're trying to see if my screen is unwatchable where you can't see it at all. Let's get another one. Let's get the LG snow demonstration. Oh, hold on. We definitely got to do this one. Sorry for eating in the background. I'm quite hungry. Bro, I'm snacking on pretzels right now. Which I shouldn't be eating. So because you try to slander my technology here, this technology is going to obsolete yours. So either you get your act together, or I said, I'm making a phone call today to put out the order. I have a few people in California, Illinois, Texas. They're all going to be placing orders. The orders going to be coming through. And you know what he's going to start doing? This is what he's going to start doing. When you place an order, he's going to start asking you where you're from. Because you think because I've mentioned states in the video, I haven't mentioned all the states. I have people all over the place that can order. I have people in overseas countries that can order for me. So don't go by the states that I just said in the video. It's going to be other people in other places. Right now, at one point, he was stopping all orders that came in from Philadelphia. That's how paranoid he is. All orders that came in from Philadelphia, he was stopping those orders. He refused to sell to them. So you're going to basically stop selling to everybody, or you're going to sell and make your money, and basically one of my people are going to obtain that product and have it here. I don't know why in the world I would have to go through so much trouble just to order a product. You see how crazy this is? Now, he can go to my website, and like I say, he can order right from me, not a problem. I process his order, I push it right through. But for us to have to get other people to get the product from you because you will cancel my orders, yeah, that's the person that has something to hide. Where's the other one? That was probably brought in the kitchen with me, didn't I? I had shaved for a few minutes too. Just weird off my face. Let's see if we can bring in. I like this demonstration. We did this demonstration. I'm going to bring it up. We can see her. This is the one I want right here. Now, see, if he done his review correctly, he should have said, well, next to the personal mix, I do pull up a bit of a higher white level. That is true. But the screen pulls up a fair white level that you can still see the screen crystal clear without a problem. And the black levels are absolutely amazing. That's what you should have said. And my screen can't produce the contrast levels. That would have been a fair review. Not mixing it with black paint and saying you can't see it at all. Now next to a black screen, he can pull the color, and I said his white levels would be a tad higher. But when it comes to our screen not being unwatchable, no, that's not true. And our screen being able to produce a higher contrast level, oh heck yes, a black screen. And those who may be offended by saying, well, you said it's black and white paint. If you saw the demonstration, it's black and white paint. It is. I can't make a statement like that unless I can back it up. In order for me to back it up, I would have to have a video of him doing this, which I do, which you don't because of his leader. I think what he doesn't like about the 12 is the 12 can produce a beautiful, watchable image, as you can see, but also can produce a contrast level that his screen can't do. It can produce colors that his screen can't do. That's what bothers him. That's why he faked the demonstration. And mind you, Fernando, that right there is a white sheet of paper next to my screen. I'm still waiting to see my image become so dark that it's unwatchable. I'm curious. Now here comes the contrast levels popping up. And this is where your screen can't produce them. Let's go with the TLC black and white demonstration. Let's do that one right there. We did the snow and all that other good stuff. Let's bring that up. TLC black and white demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Try that one again. TCL black and white demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
There we go. No, I don't want it. Now, let's see if my screen comes out so dark you can't recognize it. Now, I've noticed when he does these demonstrations, trying to do them against these fake products he makes of our stuff, keep in mind, he keeps these on bright levels. He will never ever do a star field, any form of contrast demonstration, because even if it's just black paint in there, it's going to produce a better contrast than his gray screen. I told you, any black surface can produce a contrast level. The problem with black screens, they have to be to produce a fair white level, as my technology is displaying. That's why you will never see him do a star field demonstration, any deep dark OLED demonstrations, nothing like that, when he's doing these so-called reviews. He has to keep it where his screen has the upper hand. And when you do stuff like this, and I bring your stuff down here and I do the demonstration correctly how it should have been done, you will see where your screen will start to flaw when I pull a contrast level. Now, like I said, I'm going to say it again and I'll say it over and over again. In his demonstrations, he painted our technology to be so dark that you couldn't see it at all, period. Unwatchable. Look how bright her skin tones are, the pink on her lips. But look at the contrast levels our screen is displaying that their screens couldn't even begin to understand. Now that's Crow's personal mix trying to go against a black screen. And I'll have some Crow boys to say, well, he's pulling a higher white level. That's not the point. I just sat there and said in the demonstration because his screen paint is lighter, he's going to pull a higher white level. So is the white sheet of paper. But I also said in his demonstration, he portrays our technology to be so dark, it's unwatchable. You can't see it. I'm pretty sure you can see my black screen being displayed right now. But if we're going to go on the white tones, I can transfer my screen to all contrast and you can see what happens from there. So I can maintain white levels and produce a contrast level that his screen can't do. Now, let's go to the darker demonstrations. Look at it again. Now, how in the world does this image look? Well, you can see her nose, her cheeks, the eyebrows, mascara, the ears, the earrings, even the black hair flowing behind the back of her neck that you can see crystal clear on our black screen. But in that demonstration, it didn't look like that. In that demonstration, it was about as dark as this UV mix laying against my screen over here. See that right there? See how it's color washed out? You have to have a contrast to pull color. That's the UV mix right there. It washed out. That's the white piece of paper. It washed out. See, I can't pull that deep dark blue or contrast level. There's your flaw on your screen right there. That's the problem you have with the personal mix. It can't pull contrast. It pulls a white level, yes. But that white level is the biggest problem because white level is too high. It cannot pull contrast. And if you can't pull contrast, you can't pull deeper and richer colors. There you go. Even on the UV mix. Against a black screen, are you kidding me? In no contest. His screen's gonna fade, fade, fade. There you go. And just so he doesn't feel alone in this ordeal, I have ordered from Goose Screen and 3 other big companies that develop screen paint. We're going to do a campaign on screen paints that basically are not done properly right. Which means it doesn't feel, I don't want you to feel like you're the only one being singled out. Or there's going to be multiple other companies that develop screen paints that are going to be going against that screen right there. Gray versus gray competitions. To see which one produces the higher white levels, the best contrast. Yeah. We're going to be doing those demonstrations outside too, just to let you know. We are going outside. Look at this. Now let's see. Let's bring in some dark contrast levels.
I thought we had a breakthrough with the Volkswagen. We did, yes. We wrote there. That's the Volkswagen.
There you go. You're not going to like these few next demonstrations. This is going to be contrast only. Now, like I said, I went in here and I showed you snow levels, I showed you different balance of levels, and I showed you all the bright colors. Now, you have to show the contrast. See right there? The personal mix or the UV mix cannot pull a contrast level. Let's go with some deep dark OLED. That's Sony contrast demonstration. We'll pull that one up. Let me see. Oh, and no, I wouldn't dive away from that demonstration. Let's see how dark my screen comes up. Remember, my screen is supposed to be so dark you can't see it. Now I can see the wolf's nose, I can see his mouth, I can see his eyes and everything. So what happened? How come I can see my screen here with no problem? And I'm doing a white demonstration with a white sheet of paper next to it and 2 of your screen paints. Now, since he has that fake product of ours over there that he made, how about he do a demonstration on that super black, whatever that man says he got over there. I said, these black circuits is going to pull a contrast level and do a star field demonstration, all contrast only. There you go. Like I said, tomorrow we're going to do a side by side. So I'm going to have this video playing over here on this side on another projector, and we're going to show his videos showing our screens being so dark. And then we're going to do the demonstration on here on white levels like we did just now, showing our technology. That's number 2. Let's see. I want to pull up Sony contrast demonstration.
Getting that from YouTube.
Now it's interesting how my white levels and colors will pop up, or you can see it with no problem. How well are you seeing contrast right now? There you go. You're not seeing any contrast at all. Where's the contrast? Greens are washed out and faded out here. Contrast level is completely gone. Can't make out the detail on the bridge. Completely gone. Nothing there. God forbid if you were using an expensive projector that had 1,000,000 to 1 something contrast level, you wouldn't be able to see your contrast level at all, period. It is just not there. Oh, that's bad. That's really bad. Let's go over to, let's see. Oh, that perfect black. I want to see what this looks like. Red levels just faded. UV mix is having a problem. Contrast is supposed to be dark in the background. It washed out. Colors washed out. I call it all day. Washed out. Contrast level was failing. That is so bad. That is so bad. Let's give you a break. Let's see if you can take yours and let's take a white sheet of paper next to side by side. As a matter of fact, let's do even better. Let's put you here. Let's put you right next to the white sheet of paper and see what happens. So that right there is your personal mix right next to a white sheet of paper. And see how much difference his screen has over a white sheet of paper. Not much. Not much at all. You come so close to a white sheet of paper, it is not even funny. Interesting, my gray screen back there can come close to blending a white screen, a white piece of paper, and then switch on the contrast and show a different screen. How is that possible that you come that close? Wow, a white sheet of paper. Come on, man, really? I'm sorry, that's not good. That's really bad. I never actually put a white piece of paper against the screen. That is really bad. Now I'm curious, where's my screen kind of so dark you can't see it? I'm looking at it, I really can't see it. I'm pretty sure the people on Facebook are probably looking at the same thing I'm looking at, and they're trying to figure out where my screen's supposed to come up so dark. Interesting. Excuse me about that. That's interesting. Oh, I'm gonna have to cut this. I'm gonna come back in and do another video just on this alone. Yeah, this is interesting. All right, I gotta go. I'll be back in. I'll be doing demonstrations on the ultra bright screen. I know I got switched over to this. I change back and forth for my videos all the time. I show off one demonstration, go to another one. I got to do a demonstration on this strictly by itself. I can't believe that personal mix is coming that close to a white sheet of paper. Are you kidding me? All right, so I'll be back in. I'm gonna set another demonstration up. We'll put it where the theory of where my screen is supposed to be so dark you can't see it. All right, thank you for your time. I have to go and God bless. Wow.